exactly 4 years ago, I was hired by a sports media company to run their fantasy football department. Um, I got hired. I had applied to be an analyst, and the first interview that they had with me, I talked about my data analytics and showed on the shared screen a couple examples of what I put together in terms of spreadsheets. And they brought me back the next day for another interview with all the leadership, and they ended up extending the director position running the department. And one of the first things I told my team when I started was, be yourself, write what you know, but no more than most other people. Like that's the challenge, that anyone can write about sports if you know how to write and if you follow sports. The differentiator is you have something to say that most people are not going to get anywhere else. And that defined my tenure there. And that continues to define how I do fantasy football for winners. I have to have something to say that is unique, as much as anyone can be unique in this industry. Um, Going into tonight's matchup, Thursday Night Football, Packers Commanders, one of the things that the head of the sports media company was particularly drawn to was a spreadsheet I'm going to talk about briefly in light of tonight's game. And that is, I had a hypothesis that the running backs who ran on Sunday, when they played on Thursday, would regress depending on how much they ran on Sunday. Essentially, someone getting 20 carries on Sunday gets X number of fantasy points, then on average, there would be some kind of decline on Thursday, whether it's touches, fantasy points, or both. So I did almost a decade's worth of research, which now is 12 seasons of research going back to 2013, 2014, and then that next decade through 2024. And that really stuck with the head of this company. And he encouraged me to keep pursuing it, which he didn't he didn't need to encourage me. I knew that it was interesting and that we could write things about it that told a story other than, well, here's how I think it might go. It's you go right to the data. Historically, this. So looking at tonight's game, Josh Jacobs, he's in his age 27 season, and he's coming off a week where Sunday where he had 20 touches. There have been 10 other instances 10 instances since 2013 that's happened for a 27-year-old. And I've got data here that says on average they've declined 2.2 fantasy points. That's interesting. It's only 10 instances. So taking a step back, there's more to this story. And what's more to this story is that the higher the volume on Sunday, consistently on average, the bigger the decline on Thursday. And so I've talked about this before, definitely on the blog, maybe once on the podcast, that in recent years I've observed some great running backs getting held back a little bit on Sunday, and the response on the news, the analysts and all of that saying, I don't understand it. Why did they only give Bijan Robinson 14 touches, something like that? What's up with that? It was a close game. Well, if Bijan Robinson is also playing on Thursday, that might be the reason. It is particularly true for older running backs who are worked heavily on Sunday, who then play on Thursday, have much steeper declines on average. What's also very interesting, and this goes to the Commanders, Jacory, Croskey-Merritt, who had 10 touches for the Commanders on Sunday. And what the data shows is that it actually works inversely, that those getting 10 touches, if the younger guys who are doing that tend to, on average, decline. 21, 22, 23-year-olds, on up to 26, 25, and 24 is somewhat borderline. Croskey-Merritt is an old 24-year-old rookie. So he kind of fits in this strange, where he is 24, but he's also kind of, newer and coming off 10 touches, maybe there might be a decline. What's interesting is for older running backs, starting with age 27 on up, and this is dozens and dozens of examples, on average, at each age group, each age, excuse me, there is a net positive in fantasy production from Sunday to Thursday if they've only had 10 to 14 touches on Sunday. Fascinating to me. I mean, that alone tells a story that coaches, whether they have this data or not, might empirically understand that giving their star, seasoned running back 28 touches on Sunday is not going to help them as much on Thursday if they can still win by giving them 12 to 14 touches on Sunday. So going into tonight's game, and I'll start to wrap this up. It doesn't need to be much longer than this. Josh Jacobs is a slight risk of a slight decline. That's all you say. I wouldn't overstate it. I mean, if Christian McCaffrey coming off 31 touches were playing on Thursday, I'd be sounding the alarm, and I'd probably devote 2 or 3 podcast episodes how it makes no sense that anyone would be starting him under those conditions. But Josh Jacobs, at age 27 season, coming off 20 touches, he can handle it. It also helps a little bit that he's at home. I'll leave it at that. On the Commanders side, it's really hard to tell because Croskey-Merritt seems to be the ascending talent. I've had trouble buying into him. Many of you are smarter than me about Croskey-Merritt, and so go with what you think is right. I think that all of the Commanders running backs, including Austin Eckler, Jim Nichols, Chris Rodriguez, if he's activated, but probably not, or it's active, excuse me, they could all get 10 touches on Thursday, depending on what happens. This is not a good indicator of what the spreadsheet can tell us. But what it does tell us better on the Josh Jacobs side is not to stress about it. Jacobs is still Jacobs. He's a good bet for 12 plus fantasy points. And therefore he needs to be in starting lineups, and just understand if he's coming off a bigger workload, or if next Sunday, the next person who's playing on Thursday is coming off a big workload, keep this in mind, that if they start to really overwork them on Sunday, there is a cost to that consistently on Thursday. I'm BJ Riddell, Fantasy Football for Winners, calling in the blog. Email me anytime. We'll see you tomorrow.